What's up, guys? It's been a while for me, almost a month I think now since my last video on this channel, and that is not my goal. I'm trying to shoot a video every week and it's just been really tough lately. I think most of you guys understand. I have a few different devices here from Mech DIY that I really want to cover, not just these two right here, but I also have the Aya Neo Pocket Micro right here. This thing's amazing. I love it. I said I was going to review this soon and I still haven't got around to it, but I will. Shout out to Mech DIY for hooking it up. This right here is a metal custom Miyoo Mini, and just to give you a hint as to what the theme is, I've never opened a Pokemon pack in my life, so I might do that when we check out the Miyoo Mini on this channel. Again, thank you Mech DIY for that. But today we're going to check out something from Kin Hank, the K56, so let's get into it, alright? This device right here has a lot going for it. That's a lot of bubble wrap. Nicely protected. All right, so here's the box. Let's take a quick look at the box. Here we go with the front. Reliving childhood memories. 5.5-inch screen. Play anytime, anywhere. And the back of the box. So here's our product parameters or our specs. As you see there, CPU T620, UMS 9230S, A75 times 2 up to 2.2 gigahertz, A55 times 6 up to 1.8, all that good stuff. Feel free to read all that right there. Let's just pull this down here, flip it over, and take a look at what's inside. All right, let's set this aside for a second, see what else we have in the box. Looks like we have a little SD card reader. A little cheapy. Probably work though. All these cheap ones I get actually work pretty fine, even though I have a decent Anker one right here, and I would recommend this to anybody that wants a decent card reader. This is a good one right here. But yeah, what do we have? We have some wipes. We actually have a tempered glass screen protector in here, 5.5 inches. That's cool. We have a manual here. I might as well pull this out and let you guys get a quick read on this thing. Wow, the writing is really small. So let's see, make sure it's just one-sided, or is it two-sided? Yeah, okay, so K56 game system instructions. Hopefully that's in focus. I don't know if anybody ever utilizes these manuals when I show it, but if there's ever a day where someone needs a manual, you can find it on my channel, most likely. Yeah, I can't hold this long manual steady. You know me, guys, I got the shaky hands. Don't bother me about it in the comments. Do you guys get that, or was it too shaky? Is there anything on the other side? Is that another language? Yeah, there's more. Geez, there's a lot going on. So this thing I think is running Pegasus, and they say that you could also run Emulation Station on it, but you're going to have to set that up yourself, which is what you always have to do on these handhelds. But I've never had any experience with Pegasus, so it's going to be a first for me. So if any of you guys know about it, you might be able to let me know something in the comments. You guys like Pegasus or not? Let me know. All right. So let's check this thing out. All right, let me put this away. We have a little USB-C to USB-A cable in here. Nothing special, just a basic one. Is that green? Usually don't see green on the inside. Or is that orange? I can't even tell you. Sorry, I'm colorblind. All right, let's just put this away and let's take a look at the device itself. I am waffling and taking way too long here for you guys. I apologize. Ooh, this device actually has some weight to it. So let me just move this stuff out of the way so I can work with some elbow room here. All right, so I think I'm going to zoom in a little bit. That reflection, I need to put something black up on the ceiling there to minimize that, or I got to figure something out. But let's zoom in a little bit. All right, once we turn it on, you won't be able to see that so much. And I think sometimes people think my hands shake more just because of that setup I have right there. Yeah, my hands do shake, but not that much. Anyway, this thing in the hands feels really nice, like really nice. It's nice and rounded on the sides right here. It has this nice indent right here for your fingers. And man, it feels nice. I haven't touched any of the buttons, or I've touched them, but I haven't pressed them. So let's just take a quick look around the device. We got some ventilation in the back right here for the passive cooling. A little bit of artwork or design going on there. I kind of like that. It looks cool. K56 handheld game console. I like the orange and black. I've always liked orange and black. It's kind of like Halloween here. But yeah, it's looking good. And the thumbsticks, they look like those Aeolion high quality Hall sensor thumbsticks. So I'm hoping they're good. They look really nice. They look a lot better than the ones on the Anbernic. I have thumbstick caps on these right now, so you can't see them, but otherwise they look just like a Switch thumbstick, so nothing special. But all right, we're gonna test the D-pad. I need to close this. We're gonna test the D-pad first, then we're gonna test the face buttons, shoulder buttons, and then we'll start it up and test everything else. So yeah, I don't know what the weight was, but I think I have it in the specs. If not, I'll try to throw it into the description below. But I'm really liking the way this feels. I'm kind of excited about it. All right, I'm talking too much. Let's get into this. All right, here's the D-pad. I have no idea if it's membrane or not. And it is micro switchy like a Retroid D-pad. I think that's because this is that same company, Heligali, that's Hero Legend Ally or Game Ally, Hero Legend Game Ally that made the Pi. So they were working on this before it became a Kinhank device. And that's the same D-pad that they reported on the Pi. They said it felt like a Retroid D-pad, and it does. Very quiet, clicky dome switches, and it feels fantastic. I don't know if it's going to work fantastic, but it feels really nice. It's not too loud. You might think it's loud when you hear it there, but those are quiet, like kind of like the shoulder buttons on a Miyoo Mini or an Anbernic device. Nice. All right, face buttons. Are they individual? Yeah, they are individual, and they're nice and snappy. There's a little bit of room. They don't go flush. Nice travel. They feel really good. I like them. Sometimes I see other people say buttons don't feel good after I've already told you that they feel good. So that's a subjective thing, but I can't see someone saying these buttons don't feel good. They're silicone membrane based, and they just feel really nice. Feel really good. Start and select, clicky like I expected. And what do we have here? Home and back. All right, shoulder buttons. Moment of truth. Are these going to be really loud clicky buttons? Let's find out. They're just the basic clicky buttons. Yeah, not too bad. You can hit them from every spot. Nice. And they feel really good to press. Fingers sit on them nicely. Man, I'm kind of liking this device so far. These are not as loud. These are digital, not analog. So that's another different feature. We have analog triggers on the Anbernic RG556. We have digital on the K56. I kind of don't mind that. Honestly, I like digital triggers for most of what I play. So yeah, feeling pretty good. Okay, so what do we have here? Volume down, volume up in the proper order. I appreciate that. Power on the bottom. We have our SD card slot right there. 3.5mm headphone jack. And one USB-C port. I believe video out works on this too. And we have two down-firing stereo speakers. So that's it. All right, let's start this thing up and see what it does, see what it plays, and see if it's any good. Should be a little indicator light there. Hopefully we're not out of battery. If so, we will charge it. There it goes. We got a little vibration, and we're greeted with the Kinhank logo. Make your life more interesting. All right, so here we are, Android. Let's swipe up, and we don't have to do a whole bunch of setup, which is nice. We're already in, and it looks like we have the basic quick step interface going on right here. And I'm definitely going to have to get familiar with this before we go too far into it. So I'm probably going to pause the video, play around with it just for a minute to kind of get an idea of what to show on here. It will only take about a half a second for you guys, but for me, I might put a good 30 minutes into it. Let's see what we have here before we do. We have Daigisho already installed. I'm not sure if it's set up. I'm trying to find where, you know, it's like, is that Pegasus right there? That's probably Pegasus. I'm not even sure what the icon should look like. We have Google Play Store, which is cool. So I guess this is has Google services. Chrome right there. YouTube, music, Moonlight, Game Pass. A lot of cool stuff here. Simulators, what do we have in here? We have N64 simulator, the M64 Plus, Citra, Melon DS, PPSS PP, RetroArch, and Drastic. This is actually a pretty nice, clean looking setup. Nothing in Chinese. There's not too much going on, which is cool. I don't want a bunch of bloatware on it anyway. But every Android device I have is like a little bit different the way they're set up. And honestly, I really do love... Oh, look at... I slid this up and we could see a bunch of stuff that was already... Okay, so this does look like that's Pegasus right there. So it looks like they've not closed out whatever they had messed with before on here. So I felt a little vibration right there when it went out. It feels kind of nice. I'm not sure if it's the best vibration in the world, but it's not bad. It's not like a scratchy vibration. I forgot to actually test the drop-down menu on the top, so I want to see how that works and what we have here. So here we go. We have all the basic options you would see. There's not too much here. You can't swipe to the side for anything extra, but let's just check out the brightness here. So we have it at full brightness now. We're going to bring it down. And that gets pretty dim. Nice. So we have a good range, good dynamic range there. So all right, we have Bluetooth on. I'm going to turn that off for now. We don't need it at the moment. Do not disturb, alarm, auto rotate, off. All right, so cool. Let me play with this thing for a few minutes and I'll get back with you guys on this. We'll play some games. So I figured a few things out here. There's a few systems that are already set up on here. Pegasus is set up and actually Emulation Station is set up on here. RetroArch still needs to be configured and I started loading games in there, but it was taking too long. So we're just going to skip that for now. And we're just going to test a few things in Pegasus and Emulation Station. I believe this is the Emulation Station icon right there. Let's check that out first. So I'm going to pull that up. Kinhank front end right here. They got the D-pad on the wrong side of their logo there, but that's okay. I still love you, Kinhank. I have one of those cheap screen protectors on that I haven't peeled off yet, so like the finger sliding doesn't feel as good on the screen. I know it will when I peel that off. I'm just not going to do that yet in this video because I want to put that tempered glass screen protector on without touching the screen and stuff. But yeah, you can see it's loading the games right now. ESD Emulation Station kind of takes a while to load when you have a lot of games on the system, and I think this thing does have quite a bit of games on here. So we're just going to take a look at this front end. There's only one theme on it right now, this theme, and it's not like an ideal theme for me. I'm not a big fan of like the wheel theme where the games or the systems scroll on a wheel on the side, but I'll load up some new themes on it on my off time, like not during this video. But here we are, through all my rambling, we are finally getting into the front end, and here it is right here. You see the touchscreen controls disappear right away, and everything just works. So here we are with our, game list, and what is the, let me see what the theme is on this one. The theme is CoinOps, and that's the only one available right now. So you could download more. I've already connected the Wi-Fi to this, but I'm not going to spend the time doing that right now. Everything is already scraped too, so as you can see, it's awesome. I mean, I'm not a big fan of that because I can't really, they're kind of small to me, but all the screen art here and the little arcade cabinet right there looks pretty cool. Let's back out of there, go to a different one. Cave, I'm not sure what that is. Vertical arcade type stuff, it looks like. ColecoVision. Yeah, we won't go through all these, but there's a ton of games. I'll put in the description for the video what the total game count is for this 128 card offer. Yeah, you probably want to get your own card anyway. I haven't checked to see if it's a good card or not. I'm kind of guessing it's probably not going to be, but I'll check by the end of the video. Looks like I have to get the auto rotate to keep it on landscape here. But yeah, I like Emulation Station. I've never seen this theme before, but it works. So let's just go in right now. RetroArch isn't all set up, so we could test it. I think it's gonna run it on one of the standalone emulators. So you know me, I'm just gonna go to Mario Kart, and we're gonna test, like I always do, Mario Kart and just see how it runs. we'll do one game in Mario Kart. And then after that, we're just going to kind of get an idea of how this looks, how Pegasus looks, and then I'll test some PSP. There's nothing really bigger than that on this card right now. There's no GameCube, there's no PS2, so that'll be in the future. We'll test that stuff to see how it works. That's not really giving this thing the challenge it needs. We need to put some GameCube, some PS2, and stuff like that on here. But what am I looking? I'm talking too much and I can't see. So G, I'm going to M. Proper aspect ratio. And yeah, so B and A, and then all our trigger button. This is going to be our jump button or our drift button, and then this is going to be our item button right here. So let's give it a shot. One quick round, or one quick race. And you guys can always skip ahead in this. I know I always play this in every one of my games or in any one of my videos, but it's just one of the things I like to test because I'm so familiar with it, and it really gives me an idea of how the sticks feel, the buttons feel during playing, and everything like that. So I enjoy it. And man, this thing feels good in the hands. I could even hold it like this and it doesn't feel too bad. Look at that. I even got the quick start. And it looks great. The thumbstick has a lot more range of motion than the RG556, guaranteed. Oh yeah, a lot more range of motion. And look at this. I can hold the shell behind my back with no problem. A lot of the consoles lately I've been having an issue with being able to hold the L2 button, but on here, not a problem. So obviously N64 should play perfect. Whoops, I didn't mean to drop that. I let go though, that was my bad. But yeah, N64 is obviously going to play perfectly fine on here. So we're going to test some other stuff in a future video. Today we're just going to test a little bit of, I guess, PSP, see if there's some Sega Saturn on here, something like that. But yeah, I'm liking it. Thumbsticks feel really nice. I like that extra range of motion. They're not much taller, but they're tall enough to actually notice that there's more going on there. They're not a full-size stick, but they're good enough. Oh man. Alright, come on, Princess. Get behind me. Oh, I missed her. Oh, I got her. It's crazy how comfortable this is. It really is comfortable. Obviously, my pinky fingers are still hanging off, but I don't know. I like it. It feels good. It feels definitely better than a Powkiddy X55. I have to say the Anbernic RG556 ergonomics are a little bit better in my opinion, just because you have more to grip onto down at the bottom. It's got some kind of handles on there a little bit better, but this is not bad at all. When I play some twin stick games, we'll have to see how that works out. I think, again, on a situation like that, the ergonomics on the Anbernic device are going to be better, but I don't think the sticks are going to be better. I think these sticks are going to be better. We'll have to see. I think I'm just going to go into PPSSPP and look at that little stick calibration thing and see if there's any cardinal locking or anything. I already tested Gamepad Tester and it doesn't show up with the stick circularity, so it is what it is. I don't know, sometimes they don't have that option. So anyway, we're going to get out of here and we're out. Press back to get out of there. So we have some Nintendo DS, Nintendo, Famicom Disk System, Famicom, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, Pokemini, Super Famicom, Super Nintendo, Virtual Boy, Atomiswave, Sega CD, Dreamcast. Alright, we'll test some Dreamcast too. Game Gear, Genesis, Master System, Mega Drive 32X, Naomi, Sega Saturn, SG-1000, Sharp X68000, Sinclair ZX Spectrum, Neo Geo Pocket, Neo Geo Pocket Color, PlayStation, PSP Minis, PlayStation Portable, my favorite PSP, and I actually got my first PSP not too long ago, right before these tariffs hit, so I'm stoked. A modded PSP. We'll get into that soon too. Supervision, back to all games. Does it show the total number of games? There it is, 27,238 games. So that's the number of games on the 128 gig card. And yeah, all right, we're just going to play a few more games. Let's do something in PSP. And then after I do this, I'm going to test Pegasus on here and see how that looks. So, oh my goodness, I'm taking too long scrolling through these. Okay, PlayStation Portable. And you know, I'm going to test God of War, of course. There's probably a game I should test that's Burnout, that'd be kind of fun, but you know, Burnout Legends, I'm not familiar with it, and right now I want to test God of War just because I know how it starts, how glitchy it is on lower powered systems. And then when I get familiar with some of these other games, we'll test it. And I would love for you guys to give me a list of games you'd like me to test on this thing for a future video. Maybe I'll do a video of just gameplay test of your requests, because I know you guys always request specific games and I don't get around to doing them, but I'd like to. So yeah, request some games, not just PSP, maybe even PS2 to see what runs on here, and some GameCube. I'll install those emulators after this video. So we're just going to go into Chains of Olympus here. All right, so I'm going to press back real quick to see if we can get into the PSP menu. And there it is. Okay, so let's go into game settings real quick. See what we have. Okay, graphics or backend is on Vulkan. 1X PSP. I think I'm just going to leave it there for now and see how it runs. They have frame skip on 1. This thing should be able to run much more. You know what? I'm changing that to, let's just put it to 1080p and see what happens. I'm curious because this thing should be able to handle that. All right, so let's back out of there and just continue. I'll skip all this for you so we can just get the game going. Ooh, that doesn't sound good. Not at all. I think this thing's going to need a firmware update or something. I'm not sure. 18 out of 60 right there. That's not good at all. So we're going back out of there. Going to go back into game settings. And I'm going to take that back down to 1X PSP like they had it. Maybe that's where they think it should be. And we're going to see how it plays at 1X. And then from there, we'll figure things out. That sounds a lot better, obviously. Screen's not going to look as good, though. But let's give it a shot. Even at 1X, it doesn't look that bad. I can appreciate it. Old school PSP graphics. Oh yeah, this is playing nice and smooth at 1 frame skip, 1X PSP. I'm sure we could put it up to 2X. You know what, let's do that. Let's put it to 2X and see if it runs a little bit slower or if it's still fine. It'll look a little bit better. I wish I could put it 1080p, but all right, yeah, that looks better already. So God of War is playing pretty nicely on here, and actually even at 2X PSP, it looks really nice on the screen. The screen looks beautiful. It's playing perfectly smooth, and it looks beautiful. It feels good in the hands. I keep saying that. You can hit those shoulder buttons with no problem. Yeah, I know. Alright guys, I think that's enough for God of War. We get a good idea of how it plays. We can probably even up the resolution more based on the way this looks right now. So we're going to get out of here. I'm going to exit to menu. And then I'm just going to show you real quick. We have all the games loaded in here now. So PSP is set up. Standalone emulators are the ones I'm going to choose for these higher end systems. RetroArch isn't set up yet, so I'm just going to leave that alone for this video. It takes a long time to download and import all the content. But overall, yeah, this is pretty cool. Let's take a look at Pegasus just to see how the front end looks on that. And then after that, I'll probably just do like a playthrough of a few different games, kind of like in a montage way. And yeah, we'll just kind of cut this video a little bit short. Let me know if you'd like to see a future video on this. I actually kind of like this thing, but we're going to have to see how the performance is on those heavier systems. And now we're going to go into Pegasus. Seems like it loads a little bit quicker than Emulation Station, or maybe I spoke too soon. I think I spoke too soon. It's probably very similar, actually. It's scanning the same media, I think. All the game art is already included in these files. Each one of the game folders seems to have a media folder as well. And I think that might be part of what what's taking. I tried loading importing content onto RetroArch, and it was just taking so long I decided to cancel it, because they'll load pretty quickly, at least like, you know, the lower power systems like Game Boy Advance, if you're not loading all the media with it at the same time. But it was just, there was like 4,000 Game Boy Advance games, and it was just taking too long. Man, this is taking longer than Emulation Station here. There it goes. I just had to give it a little nudge, make it feel bad. All right, Pegasus, come on, don't tease me. There we are. Okay, we have some background music on this one. And like I said, I've seen this user interface before, but I've never used Pegasus. So let's see if we can... All right, so the shoulder buttons move us through. The text is really small on this too. I think that's why Pegasus is kind of better suited for like a computer. But we have, I don't even know, IREM. Then we have MAME, Master System, N64, Naomi. And yeah, I'm sure there's probably a way to make these grids bigger so you could see all these, but I can't really even tell which game I'm looking at unless I look over here on the left to see the information. But it's actually a really nice setup here, you know? It looks pretty good. So I've been curious about Pegasus, you know? It doesn't seem like too many people I see using it, but a lot of the Chinese people seem to like it. So I don't know, I'm gonna give it a try, play with it, see if it's something I like. We got some Virtual Boy in here. But yeah, the background music's kind of got to go. I got to figure out how to get into menus and stuff like that for... Okay, here's settings. So we can go in here. Is there anything to turn off that music? I'll deal with it later. Figure things out. But yeah, so we have Pegasus here. I'm going to quit out of there for right now. Actually, before I quit out, let's start one game and just see how they boot up through Pegasus. Something that's not gonna... Oh, look at that. Super Mario 3D Land. Let's see how 3DS works on this thing since we're here. I'm not too experienced with emulating 3DS. But look, they got it a little bit set up. I'd have rather had the bottom screen a lot smaller and the big screen a lot bigger. I don't really know how to set things up in the menus on this, so I'll have to learn still. But hey, let's just see if it plays. Later I'll worry about the aspect ratio or fixing the windows. Looks like someone already played this, huh? World 1 already has something going on there. They're testing it out. Try to put that right in my phone's dark spot for you guys. Alright, I'll probably skip this for you guys, save time. Start. Continue. Okay. As you see, I don't play 3D Land. I'm not familiar with the game. But I want to play it. Just haven't got around to it. So let's give this a shot. I heard a little stuttering there. But yeah, it's working pretty well. Thumbstick seems to be pretty accurate. A little stutter. A little stutter there again. Is there a way to ground pound? There it is. Alright. So I'm sure I don't need to play a bunch of this for you guys to know. Most of you probably already are familiar with this game, so I'm sitting here being amused by it because I'm not familiar with it. Got those. Alright. So here we are, Mario 3D Land. Basically the same controls that you would have on Mario on any other game. But it's like partially 3D, which is kind of cool. It's actually like almost 3D. This would actually be really cool on the 3DS. I need to give it a shot. Alright, I got a flag. I think that's good enough for now. Okay, so how do I get out of here? Back. We're going to exit this for right now. Exit game. Alright, Pegasus is working. So yeah, there's a bunch of stuff in here. I'm actually not minding this Pegasus layout. It's actually kind of cool, especially when things work. So I'm going to quit out of there for now. Exit Pegasus. And I'm probably going to go into emulation station again and just play a few different games on a few different systems. I'll put the name of the game at the top of the screen or something like that, and we'll just get an idea of how things play. Just a short little segment for each. It looks like my Wi-Fi just kind of went away. I had my Wi-Fi set on here, but it's all of a sudden empty. I'm not sure what's going on with that. But I'm liking this device, guys. So if you're interested in this thing, I'll have the link in the description. The price is going to be different probably each day with the tariff thing for anybody in the US. I'm not sure what the prices are going to be for people outside of the country and in other parts of the world. Probably cheaper, but yeah, it's pretty cool. Let's try a few different games. Probably just fight one match. Let's just see if we can get those fireballs, Shoryukens out, hurricane kicks. First one, second one, no problem. Oh, I could already tell this is a good fighting game D-pad. No problem with my diagonal jumps, no problem with the fireballs, and let's get a Shoryuken in. Oh my god. It's a fantastic D-pad. This is, yeah, it's like a Retroid D-pad. Almost feels like better than a Retroid D-pad to me. I know probably a lot of you guys are going to be like, yeah, you're crazy. Retroid D-pad's the best, but that's an awesome D-pad. I don't think I need to play any more Street Fighter to show that this is a good fighting game D-pad, so I think I'm going to leave it there for this. And we're going to get out of there. Instead of testing OG Nintendo on here with like Contra, I'm going to go into Game Boy Advance and we're going to test Contra Advance, the Alien Wars. I think it pretty much has the same principle when it comes to the Rust test, the Contra test down here. So we'll see if we can get that to work. I also wanted to see how Game Boy Advance looked on here, and it looks awesome. They pre-installed some bezel art on there. I'm pretty sure that is pixel perfect right there, and it looks good. It looks really good. All right, so let's just give this a shot. I'm not very familiar with Alien Wars, but we're just going to play a little bit of the beginning. All right, so here we are with the Rust test, and yeah, I think it's good. Because if I want to run, no problem. But if I want to stay down, I think it's good. Yeah. Alright, so let's just play a little bit. Diagonals work while running, no problem. Multi-spread, yeah. Give me all that. Give me all that. Yeah, I'm having fun, guys. I think this is a cool handheld. We're definitely going to have to test some of those heavier systems, though. Don't be mad at me for not doing it in this video. This is just a quick first impression video, more like an unboxing. I shouldn't even be testing all these games in this. It's more like, hey, how's it look and how's it feel? But we're just going a little further with it today. I'm digging it. I don't know how many times I said that, but I like the color, I like the feel, I like the D-pad a lot. Oh, I died right there. That's cool. All right, so I like everything about it. The sticks feel good. You know what? Actually, I forgot to go into PPSSPP and check the stick calibrator on there. I'm going to do that now. So, because it didn't have the average circularity test in Gamepad Tester. So I'm going to back out of here. I'm just going to swipe up on here. I could just close it, but I can do it like that. So we should be able to go into settings and controls. Calibrate analog stick. All right, so here we go. We have a full range. That's good. Do we have cardinal locking? Yeah, we have cardinal locking, but yeah, I think it's much less pronounced than it is on the RG556 because you can see how much I'm able to move through this quadrant right here, this top right corner. But it does snap a little bit on that line right there, as you can see. but you can get through, and there's a lot more range of motion on these sticks. So I'm right-handed and my left hand isn't the best for aiming. You'd be aiming with this one, but it doesn't allow you to test that on here. So yeah, it's not too bad. I'm not complaining. It's way better than the 5.56 sticks, way more range of motion, and that's cool. So all right, I'm gonna back out of there and we'll test 1 or 2 more games. Again, one of my go-tos, we're just gonna go to Sega Dreamcast and test Crazy Taxi 2. And I have to kind of talk, or actually I should put the volume down because I remember Russ from Retro Game Course saying that you can get a copyright strike for this game, for the music. So I'm going to put that down a little bit, and we're just going to try to pick up 1 or 2 passengers. See how the graphics look. I like the bezel art on the side. Some people hate it, but I like it. Okay, so how do I change gears? There we go. Okay, let's just pick you up right here. Come on, get in. Your turn. Oh no, let's go this way. Yeah, this is so much easier to control than it is on the small vertical handhelds. Nice. Look how beautiful the screen looks. Get out. Oh, see, I'm hitting home right here. And look at it, it's listening to me talk. So I guess this is kind of like a Gemini button or whatever button it is for AI. I need to get that out of there. I don't know what. Okay, so my palm is pressing down on this home button and it's picking up my voice, which is really weird. So, all right, let's just try to avoid that. I need to pick somebody else up right here. Ah, you can see how good I am at this game. Get in. All right. So yeah, I'm peeling out here. But Dreamcast is running really well on here, which is a good sign. And we'll test the other games in the next video. And we'll test some Android games. I'm going to have to download some Android games or install some APKs one way or the other. I'm not going to make it. Come on, 5 seconds. Time up, and my palm just hit that again. Get out of here. Oh well. All right, we see Dreamcast works. Every game I've played pretty much today, I've sucked at. It is the way it is. I'm just trying to test out the system, so we'll play one more game that I'll probably do terrible at, and then we'll probably call it a day with this console for today. All right, guys, let's try something else. All right, we're going to try Sega Saturn. There's only 12 games in here, and I'm not really sure what to test. I'm terrible at Mortal Kombat, but I'm kind of tempted to test Mortal Kombat Trilogy. Literally, I can't even do a fatality. I've just never learned the moves in Mortal Kombat. So what do we want to test? Do we want to test Mortal Kombat? I want to kind of test something more graphically intensive, but they don't have like Panzer Dragoon or anything like that on here, so let's just do Mortal Kombat. So we're using Yaba Sanshiro through RetroArch. Nice bezel art. Looks really good. I think Ken Hank did a good job on optimizing this thing and setting it up. I think some of the heavier systems they didn't include because they might not know what the best optimizations are for them yet. But I'm hoping this thing can handle some of the heavier stuff. That background looks good with this console. The background is like orange and black. Oh, I did some special move by accident. Which is my kick button? I couldn't even find my kick button. But it's playing perfectly fine. It looks good. There's my kick button. I thought. Oh, there it is. It's the trigger up there. It's one of my kick buttons. How do you do the sweep? Oh, there it is. Nah, I suck. Alright, you guys got to see how terrible I am at Mortal Kombat. I'll leave that in the video just to show you that Mortal Kombat plays perfectly fine. I just suck at the game. So we're going to get out of there. And you know what I want to do? I want to test the browser. I want to see if we can get into YouTube and see how that works. So I'm going to go out of there. just going to close that out. That's one thing I always like to do when I work with Android devices is swipe out the apps that are open. So let's go into YouTube here and see if we could find OG Technic. Do I want notifications? Not right now. Okay, let's just type in OG. Actually, let's type in Retro Handheld. Shout out to Retro Handheld. I don't know if they really even know I exist, but I definitely know they do. They're cool. They're my buddies. So they got a bunch of stuff. Let's just check something out. What's the newest thing they have in here? 17 hours ago, 557. That is the upgraded 556 that we have right here. So let's just see how this plays. Don't give me a copyright strike. Stubbs, Zoo, all you guys. Oh, it's Zoo. Hey, Zoo. Look at that, Zoo. On the K56. I like Zoo. He reminds me of Jeff Goldblum. But anyway, Zoo, you're awesome. I'm not going to keep you on here because I don't want you to get mad at me for that. How do we go home? There we go. He wants to stay on the screen. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Zoo. But I think we're going to leave it at that for this video, my friends. Like I said, it's been a while since I've done a video. I'm rusty at this, and I'm just trying to figure out how to get organized. In the future, things are going to be much more organized. But for now, we're going to leave it at that for this video. Again, sorry for not testing the heavier hitting games. We'll do that in another video. Leave me a comment down below, guys. Let me know what you like about this, what you don't like, if you would choose a 556 over the K56. And what games do you want me to test on here? On GameCube and PS2 and any other systems? Let me know. Leave me a comment down below. I'll try to make a list. I keep asking you guys, and I know I never get around to playing the games you guys mentioned, but I'm going to do it, guys. Let's get into this. All right, let's start having fun together. I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching. Leave me a like if you don't mind. Peace.